Hey everyone, welcome to Sweet Carolina Kiss and welcome back if you've been here before. So today I am nice and fresh faced and I'm going to be showing you the basics of concealer and all the different ways that we can use it. So SeneGence has multiple different concealers. We have a light concealer, a medium concealer, a deep concealer, a white concealer, and a green concealer, and we'll go through what each of these can be used for and what they're all for in a few minutes. Then we also have some alternative products that I like to use as concealer as well. We have our shadow scents in a few different shades, which we will go over, eye illuminator, and of course just your regular foundation or color correcting tinted moisturizer. So I'm going to be showing you all of my tips and tricks and secrets on how to use all of these products for concealer. There's two different ways you can use concealer. You can use it underneath of your foundation as a color corrector, and that's what I'm going to be showing you first. So I don't have anything on currently. I just have my regular daytime moisturizer, climate control, all of my normal go-to skincare. So most people have trouble or think of concealer as under eye concealer. So let's start there. So if you struggle with bags or dark circles, you're gonna need something with kind of a peachy undertone to cancel out any sort of blueness or black or darkness from those dark under eye circles. So two really great options for that would be our medium concealer, or I also, as an alternative, like to use our Candlelight shadow scents. Both of these kind of have that peachy kind of undertone. Alright, so for those dark circles under your eyes, as I said before, you're going to need something with a peachy tone. So you can use our medium concealer. These concealers are super pigmented, super creamy and lightweight, and have all of our anti-aging properties, last all day, crease proof. Y'all, I could go on and on about how amazing they are. So I'm just going to take a tiny little bit and just apply it right there where there may be any darkness from under eye circles. Then you can take a little concealer brush. People ask me all the time what type of brushes I use. Honestly, I just get whatever is on sale. You can just get a little concealer brush like this, really anywhere at the drugstore in any basic face kit. So, you're just going to take that and kind of smooth it in right here where there may be any sort of darkness. And now I know it looks kind of crazy. It's not totally blended in with my skin tone, but like I said, those peachy tones are going to be really good at canceling out any darkness under your eyes. So just kind of blend that out. You can even use your finger. You don't have to have a brush either. And you're not going to want to blend it all the way because we are going to be covering that up with our foundation. So then your other option is to use a shadow scents, and I love using shadow scents as concealer as well because it's also really lightweight, long-lasting, crease-proof, and it is kind of a two-in-one. I'll show you in a minute. So on the other eye, do the same thing there, and I'll just use my finger this time and just kind of smooth it out where there might be any darkness under your eyes. So as you can see, the medium concealer is definitely much more pigmented than the Candlelight shadow scents, but they both work really well. They both feel so good, and they're both going to do the same thing to cancel out any darkness. So Candlelight is also really great as an eyelid concealer as well. If you struggle like I do with kind of red or veiny eyelids, a little tiny drop of Candlelight and your finger is gonna do the trick to cancel any of those colors out. So that way you have a nice clean canvas for your eyeshadow later. Okay, another concealer that SeneGence has for color corrective purposes is our green concealer. So if you don't know your color wheel, green and red are opposite colors, and any sort of green concealer is going to work to cancel out any sort of redness. Now you're going to use green concealer underneath of your foundation as well. Again, super pigmented, really nice and creamy, so honestly you don't need much more than that. And I don't really have any pimples or anything at this moment, but I do get a little bit of redness around my skin, so I may just kind of put it where I feel like there's any redness, and then you can either smooth that out with your finger, or I like to take a damp beauty blender and just kind of smooth that out. And as I said, you don't want to totally blend it out to the point where you can't see it, because you do want it to stay and cover up the redness that you're trying to cancel out, but just enough to smooth it into your skin. Or again, like I said, you can use your fingers as well. But this is really great if you really suffer with redness or rosacea or acne. This is a really good spot treatment for that. So that is pretty much it for underneath of your foundation for color correcting purposes. If you are darker skin toned, the medium may not work for you. You may want to consider the deep concealer, but I'm going to go ahead and put on my foundation, and then we will get to concealer on top of your foundation. Okay, now that I have applied my foundation, I used a little bit of our Make Sense Anti-Aging Foundation in the shade Dewy, and a little bit of our color correcting tinted moisturizer in the shade Light. So mix those two together, and just with a damp beauty blender, I went ahead and applied my foundation. And as you can see under this eye where that medium concealer definitely looked really peachy, that has covered up nice and smoothly, and you can't even tell that I had that peachy color there, and it really helps to cancel out any dark circles under your eyes. So the next way to use concealer is on top of your foundation to enhance your look. So a lot of people like to think of highlighting and contouring and things of that nature with concealer. So some really great options for using concealer on top of your foundation is to use our white concealer or our light concealer to highlight with. So this is a really great combo. Sometimes I like to mix equal parts of these two together and use under my eyes, kind of down the bridge of my nose, up on my forehead a little bit, on my chin, and Cupid's bow, just to brighten everything up. Another really great combo for that would be to use another Shadow Sense color. I really like the color Whisper Pink. As you can see, this is a really light pink color, almost a white. So you can mix this and your light concealer together, or you can mix this along with a little bit of your foundation or a little bit of your tinted moisturizer, just to kind of give you a more creamier application with that. I also like to use Eye Illuminator as an under eye concealer. This is a super easy, this is kind of like eye cream for daytime. So this is eye cream with our pearlizer in it, and one swoop of this under your eyes is going to hydrate and moisturize your under eye skin all day, as well as brighten up those under eyes too. So all of these are great options for highlighting under your eyes. I'm sure there are plenty of more combos, but these are just some of the combos that I use on a daily basis. So let me show you a few of these in action, and I will show you how I use them and apply them. So let's start with the combo of our white and our light concealer. So I'm just going to use the back of my hand, and I'm going to apply a little dab of our white and a little dab of our light concealer together. Just about that much. As you can see, not much at all, because like I said, these products are super pigmented and super creamy. And then I'm just going to use my finger to blend those two together. And for under eye concealer as a highlighter, you're going to want to apply sort of in a upside down triangle. So you're going to want to apply your concealer in a shape kind of like this, or think of it like a V, just to brighten up those under eyes. And with concealer, you don't want to get too much of your product close to your lash line because it can kind of tend to get cakey and creasy in those fine lines that are around your eyes. So start with the product down lower and then use a brush or a beauty blender to kind of blend the product up and work its way up. And this creates a really nice, bright under eye. Just like that. Super easy. Okay, another really great option is to use our shadow scents. So Whisper Pink is a favorite of mine. I really like to use Whisper Pink and mix that with a little bit of eye illuminator, and y'all, this creates the perfect bright under eye, and it's super simple too. So I know I already did both eyes with the light and white, but I will just go ahead and put this on top. So I'll take a little dab of Whisper Pink, just about that much. You really don't need much of any of our products because they're so pigmented. I love that about all of them. And then I'm just gonna take my finger and get a little bit of that eye illuminator, and again, kind of in a V shape. You're gonna wanna spread that out under your under eye. And this, I just like to use my finger to kind of gently pat and melt that into my skin. Look how bright that under eye area is. I love it. And because you're using eye illuminator, you're going to have eye cream under your eyes all day and stay nice and hydrated. Okay, so those are two of my favorite combos for under eye concealer on top of your foundation. Again, like I said, you can drag any excess up to any other parts of your face that you might want to highlight. If you have any really stubborn things kind of showing through your foundation, I would recommend using Candlelight Shadow Scents, or again, our light concealer or medium concealer or even deep concealer depending on your skin tone. And let's just pick a little spot. So let's say right there. You're just gonna dab a little bit of, I'm using Candlelight Shadow Scents, and you can kind of let it dry for a minute so that way it stays thicker and more concentrated. But very lightly, you're just going to want to pat that with your finger and kind of just melt it into the rest of your foundation. Just like that. And you've got flawless coverage. Super simple, super easy. And the last and most important thing about concealer is that you always want to set it with a powder. This is going to provide a much more flawless finish. It's going to prevent any caking and creasing. Our products really don't do much of that anyway, but this just helps really smooth out those under eyes or anywhere else that you may have used concealer. So I like to use our translucent powder. It comes in this convenient little pack with a brush already in it. So you can go ahead and get some powder loose and just gently pat that under your under eyes. If you want, you can also unscrew the cap and use your own brush to get some of that product out, but this works just fine for me. And this is going to make sure that your concealer stays looking flawless all day long. And just like that, y'all, that is concealer in a wrap. That was super simple, super easy. If you have any questions about how to use concealer or the different types of concealer that we offer, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer your questions. And I will catch y'all next time. Bye.